Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to TBCS, aka The Best Car Show. My name's Dan, and today we're going to be doing our first car review of the 2013 Hyundai Sonata, so let's get started. Alright guys, today we're going to have Danny riding shotgun with us, and we're going to be doing the 2013 Hyundai Sonata review. If you're looking to buy a Sonata 2013 model, there are three different options you're going to be looking at. The first is the GLS, which we're in right now. The next is the GLS SE, and then the 2-liter turbo. Now, since we are in the GLS, that's the main one we're going to be focusing on right now, so let's get started. Now, I think the first thing we're going to talk about is something we all care about, performance. Now, the GLS horsepower rating is at put at 199. It's decent. The SE is like 200, but the 2-liter turbo is at 274. So if you're looking for that extra power, that's where you go to. Now, the other thing would be they're all front-wheel drive cars, and they come with they're automatic, but also have sequential gearbox in them. So not paddles. Down here, the stick you push up and down. Yeah, sequential. Yeah, so you could have that. And right now we're going over a pretty bumpy road, which it's handling actually rather well, because
like doesn't kick you in the ass.
No, it's very smooth. On the camera might be otherwise, but it actually is really smooth. That's because it's riding on 16-inch tires, unlike the GLS and the turbo versions, which have 18. So the ride is a little bit more crude, I guess. But that's part of the performance, I guess, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we went over the horsepower rating, all that, and it's actually not a slowpoke at all. I mean, it is a family car, but it does actually move pretty well. So you can't complain about that. All right, the next thing we're gonna talk about is the fuel economy, because it's such an important topic nowadays, especially to everyone. And if you're honestly, if you're looking to buy a Sonata, fuel economy is one of its strongest points, as it can do up to 24, 25 in the city and 35 on the highway. But honestly, I have actually gotten it way higher than that. I managed to get to 40 and actually 43 once on the highway. It just depends how you drive. If you drive carefully, it will treat you well and it will get you the results you're looking for. Now, you might think, oh, the fuel economy is like that, then it's going to be a pretty boring car. Well, actually, not always, because we're going to go down block.
No pedestrians.
And it will put a smile on your face. So even if you're a family guy, family gal, it still will put a smile on your face. So that gets the job done. Now, the ride is comfortable, it's very spacious. It has plenty of room, especially in the rear, leg room. So like, for example, we have a friend who's like, he's like 6-something and always complaining, oh, I have to sit in the front because I don't fit in the back with my legs. Not a problem, we tested it, we put him in the back. He fits like a glove, can't complain. So that's always good. And if, for example, if you go shopping, if anything, in the boot, plenty of space, really spacious. The car can really get loaded up. So you're always, whenever shopping, if you, for example, go to Costco or any big stores like that, you will fit everything you need and have space for it. All right, guys. Also, another side note, just a little thing. Its turning circle is actually rather decent. It's a pretty good turning circle, and actually does fairly well in the bends, even though, you know, we're in America, so it's straight lines and all that. But it does handle itself well, driving wise. Even with speed, you can take it up and then come out of the corner and give it some power. It's a very nice ride. And now we're gonna be handing it over to Danny. Trust me, I am scared.
Could be worse, you could have heart.
Yeah, I could have heart. That's actually that's scary. All right, guys.
That's
so
scary.
now Danny's in the driver's seat. I'm scared. Actually, pretty terrified of this. He's adjusting his mirrors,
Yeah.
which are electric. The only thing is I had to readjust my seat because Danny put it really back. The passenger isn't electric controlled, but the driver's side is actually. So, Danny, what are your thoughts on it right now?
See, personally, I drive a CRV. That's why I used to like commute. And the thing about it is, it's so much higher that I literally feel like I'm sitting on the floor on this. But the good thing is that the seats are electric, so you can pop yourself up pretty high. Oh, put into my sequential, let's not do that. And the thing is, it feels really smoother, and this is gonna be weird. It feels really much more smooth than my CRV, which is like, supposedly known for all-wheel drive, handling bumps. But for some reason, this feels like it absorbs it so much smoother.
Again, the 16-inch tires do a pretty good job.
I don't really drive front-wheel drives that much. I've always been around all-wheel drive. Another thing that I really like about this, the center console. It's not too flashy, but yet for a standard package, it actually does look really nice.
It looks nice, but I think it leaves something to be desired.
Yeah,
I think so. It looks kind of plain and bland, but it really does get the job done. You have everything you need. You have seat warmers over here for both front seats. And what else do you need? Heating, air conditioning, CD player,
also,
Bluetooth.
If you look over here, you got auxiliary, USB for your iPod.
Yep.
Two of those like nipple charger things, those little things you got like gas stations that have like two USBs at the end of them. On the steering, you got volume controls, for the radio, phone, all electric powered mirrors, windows.
Also, another thing on the dash, there's a computer that you get to set up the trip, how much miles you have left,
I
see. Empty, how much you
average
run,
fuel economy,
time you take in. It's actually pretty well done nicely. But I think it does leave something to be desired for. The SE does have a slightly better kind of layout, some of them I think. But I'm not sure about the new models if the Sonatas are improved in the center console. I think for me that's one of the things I don't like about it.
Yeah. I mean, look, for a console, I'll give it looks a bit more like, because my car is in the CRV, I have like the standard package. And it does look a bit more bland, but this one looks like it has a bit more like class to it at least.
It's done well.
It's done really well, like where the vents are placed for air conditioning and all that. The button layout is very simple to read. Everything is labeled, so you don't have to really play around with the the manuals, and to figure out how the car's running. Usually with
you get in and drive, pretty much.
It's a very simple get in and drive. No matter what terrain, what roads you're going for a long road trip.
It's pretty comfortable actually also.
That's another thing. The seats are phenomenal. They are really phenomenal.
Stock seats are pretty good.
Yeah, they're really well done. They hold you in place, and they don't they're not like those plastic bucket seats like you get in like a Superleggera.
That's like different class of car.
Yeah, but still, from what I heard, those seats, after a while, they just make your back hurt.
Yeah.
Because it's just but it's really smooth, really well done. The design of it looks pretty nice.
It does have a little bit of a plastic feel, but it's not like super cheap plastic that you might find like on some boards and stuff like that.
Now, another thing is the field of view. Here's the thing, even though, like I said, my CRV, I'm higher up and I'm so adjusted to that, it's harder for me to get into sedans and coupes. The field of view out of this is actually really, really good. And it's not even that hard to get adjusted to the car's length, and when you get into those tight spots, you could find out exactly,
get used to it.
and go through confidently without hesitating about, where you're going to be.
And yeah, Danny's still not used to the throttle response, as it is pretty sharp.
It is sharper. See, another thing, every time I try to do that on my car, it just goes up to like 4,000 RPM.
Yeah, this one bounced up.
And this
high.
one just jumps up to like what, 6 or?
That was like I think 6, 4.5 to a 5.
So
that's for a sedan, family sedan. pretty damn good. So
I mean, this is the standard package, so just think of that 2-liter turbo.
yeah,
one.
that really can actually haul ass.
How much is, like, what would you compare that to? 274 horsepower, was it? What could that, like, compete against
Honestly,
and surprise people?
BMW's 3 Series, like people, oh, the BMW 3 Series, like the best family sedan, best sedan, but the turbo will definitely keep up with it. And
It's like
show
a
some stuff.
sleeper on its own. That's the great thing. Like, you know, you see it, it's like, oh, it has 4 doors, you know, it's a sedan, it's just used for, like, daily commute. Meanwhile, it could really be a surprise under the hood and what it's packing. I mean,
Honestly, I take it almost every day on the highway for the past 2 years, commuting to school.
yeah.
But it is fun. Like if the road opens up, it will really like put a smile on your face as it surprises you and other Mercedes on the road and stuff like that, and BMWs. So there's plenty of fun to be had in this car.
Now, another thing is, when it comes to modifications, how would you say this car would be able to take mods?
Mod-wise,
Yeah.
you could do an exhaust on it. You could do cold air intakes, stuff like that, radiator, all that stuff. But I don't think it's that big of a mod project to be had
Yeah.
because it is front-wheel drive. So I mean, you could put more power in it, but
So what do you think of a drivetrain swap?
that's costly, and a lot of people.
And weight-wise too, if you're going into all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But fairly overall, great car. I mean, I don't really drive this thing. It's like my first time getting behind the wheel of it. And to be honest, when you ride passenger, it's really comfy, but it almost feels the same way. The car like seems to like, you know, it follows what you say. It doesn't like really reject it. You know, you want to floor it, it'll floor it, you know, open itself up to you. You could probably, you know, have like a swell time with this car, you know, like,
I definitely do.
you know, everyone has like a personal like connection with their cars. This is like, I think a great one. You can have the power, yeah, you can have like, you know, if you go for a date night with a girl, you know, it still gets the job done. But overall, it's like a really great car. Can't say anything more about it.
Good review from Danny. All right, guys. So now we're just gonna take it around for the final spin, final thoughts, closing statements, etc., etc. So, also another thing for safety, if you're looking to have it as your family car, it is pretty safe. It does rate pretty well with the safety feature, and it does have 6 airbags, so that's always a big plus, especially if you're looking for that. Another thing would be, honestly, the one thing I don't like about it, that really just like in the beginning got me down on it, is the mirrors, the side mirrors. Yeah, it's electronically powered, but every time you go to park, you have to move them because you will not know whether you're lining the car up properly and like where you are, and you have to keep moving it and fiddling with that. And I just think that's just such a pain in the ass always.
Yeah, sounds like it. And like no reverse cam. Does that come on the other packages? A reverse camera?
I'm not sure about it, but they're pretty easy to install. Even I was thinking about for this one, a reverse cam. It's not too big of a job. Yeah, not big of a job, and you can do it easily by yourself. But some of the SE models do have the rear cam. So if you don't like parking or aren't that good at it, and you don't want to give this car some time to like, get used to it, then
Just take that cheap.
take that as the possible, you know, method of solution. So we're gonna try that right now. We're gonna try parallel parking. We didn't really find a tight spot, but I will pretty much still do it as if standard. And as you can see, I am adjusting and fiddling with the mirrors to get it just right the first time. All right, and then put it in drive. And that is all. So I mean, once you get like the hang of it, you get used to the car, it's pretty easy, fairly easily done. Most magazines do rate the car around 8 out of 10, and I would have to give it also an 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10, because I personally, it is my car, so I do love it.
I go more with like a 7, since it's like, you know, really low. That's like the only con for me. But yet again, that's just probably if I drove something like this on a daily basis.
If you drive
I'd
sedans,
adjust to it.
you won't really feel it. If you drive Jeeps or higher up vehicles, then I guess it would be a little difference in getting accustomed to that. But overall, that wraps it up for the car review for the best car show, our very first one. All right, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and see you around.